One of the things that we really try to focus on, especially after you've kind of gotten out of that starting phase of the business, but now it's like, where am I great? Where's my gusher? So we help people determine where their greatness lies and then pour into that first. Before you go out and try to diversify your revenue streams, for God's sake, get great, make $1 million in one place.
Welcome to the Lion's Edge, where top performers sharpen their teeth. Hosted by Joe Blackburn, founder of The Lion, who is relentlessly dedicated to helping business owners lead multi-million-dollar teams. And me, Jason Croft. I transform unseen entrepreneurs into industry leaders by developing their market gravity. Each week, we reveal proven strategies and raw insights to help you maximize your business, multiply your wealth, and make your family indestructible. Now, let's create your edge. Welcome to the Lion's Edge. Joe, it's good to be back here, my friend.
Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Let's go.
I know. So for the fans, the millions of fans out there who watched Sales Assassins, 3 million or
I said 4.
the,
4 total. I was talking total.
The ones of people out there who watched watched the show. We've made a quick pivot here. Phenomenal show. We had a blast doing it. So important, and that's going to be up there and live. I think something that you mentioned to me, it's such a great succinct, it's almost a course in and of itself, a standalone. Hey, you want a sales course, go watch 18 episodes of Sales Assassins, right?
A master class, I believe is what they call that in the interwebs. A master class.
Very much so, right? And we really want to expand certainly your expertise, how you're helping people with your bigger groups, your more in-depth groups.
Yeah.
So talk to us about that and fully what's going on there, what you have constructed and how you're helping folks. And that'll give people a taste in this first episode of sort of the bigger topics that we'll be talking about here.
Sure. Well, we have something called the Inner Circle, and I think we did one around that when I'd come back from an in-person. So it's Lion Inner Circle, and that's our foundation. That's where our biggest and best clients and really my best friends and the people that I care about the most outside my family live. And a lot of our assassins were placed into assassins from those people. They were their sales force. So we first wanted to help people that needed to get more revenue, more clients, all those things. And we did that through assassins. The platform's doing great. Our results are unbelievable. On our rolling 12, so I now look at it month over month, I think our lowest was a 4X and our highest was an 11X. So in their sales results, that was working. And, you and I talked before we started to do this. I'm thinking, we're helping people do things that aren't as, granular and task oriented as a daily sales role. It's more about how I lead my business, really trying to maximize that. And then what am I doing to start to multiply wealth, whether that's through real estate, business acquisition, reinvesting in my own business to get the equity value up, things like that. And then, of course, in the Lion, the most important thing is family. So we say max your business, multiply your wealth, and make your family indestructible. So I believe we could help more people through this with those types of things. And, it's bigger problems, different problems. It takes, more leverage within your skill set than it does once you get those invaluables down that we talked about in the assassins. There are 15 things. You master those, you can do what you like with who you like, when you like, and all make a lot of money. Now you need to take that and leverage it within your business, have other people do that, become the chief marketeer of the business, and make bigger decisions and not blow your family up in the process.
So give me an example, kind of some tangibles for folks, both with how you're helping, like what's a problem that's happening or a transformation that somebody is in their business owner. They come into the Lion and they're in this inner circle, and what is that transformation they're helping with? Because I think that's going to help people in this episode to understand the kinds of things we're going to talk about, even more tangible. I mean, you certainly went over the main core topics, but how does that show up in real life?
Well, I had an example this morning. So we have one of our best clients, and I won't say his name today. He'll be on someday. So he's went from $780,000 to $2.8 million in revenue, and grown his business pretty rapidly over a couple years. And that involves, bringing on managers, salespeople, service people. You're starting to. I hate using this word, so I'm gonna be real careful. Scale. I think it's way overused. But as you're growing and the problems become bigger, you have more people issues. So he's the best at what he does in the business, but now you have other people you have to rely upon, and they actually expanded into another market. So not only did he have fantastic growth, he had enough to where now he's building out new location, new marketing, everything. And in the interim, one of the people that was pretty good at sales and could do some leadership, they asked that person to lead, and we found out that they weren't the person that really wanted to lead. Number one, they kind of wanted to lead, but it's who they had. So we talk about win with the team you got. But working through getting the people in the right place and setting them up for success and helping the business. So trying to make that decision by yourself is pretty difficult because you don't have any feedback. You only see what you see, and you're growing so rapidly. You're here. So one of the things we always talk about is right place, right person. And that's something, this is literally happening in real time. And, you get a little, I guess, uneasy about having that conversation. And, most of my experience has been when you have that tough conversation with someone, most of the time they're relieved. They know it, you know it. They just hasn't been brought to the forefront. So I got the text, and the conversation went great because people intuitively know where their lane is, and you have to play them there. So what we help people with is more about, that's what I call a leverage decision. It's not what I'm doing, it's what I'm leading. So we have that. And then we've got, clients all over the country in different industries and doing different things, different geographies, family situations, and everything. One of the things that we really try to focus on, especially after you've kind of gotten out of that starting phase of the business, like starting your business, getting up and running, that's more assassins. But now it's like, where am I great? Where's my gusher? So we help people determine where their greatness lies and then pour into that first. Before you go out and try to diversify your revenue streams, for God's sake, get great, make $1 million in one place. Try to make it one thing. You hear that a lot online. It's harder to do in tangible physical businesses. But we've got clients that I would say had shiny object syndrome. I'm a victim of shiny object syndrome. I think I can do everything. And I probably could, but then when I'm trying to do everything, the one thing isn't that great. So getting laser focused on that. So we've got clients that were doing multiple different businesses, and now it's like, fill that gusher up first. Get great here, make this your unconscious competence, and then you can grow and expand and allocate capital and do all those fun, flashy things you see online about, being a speculative investor, which is a hobby, by the way. But that's something that we really focus on in the beginning, is identifying that so that you have the profit and capital to do the things you want. In the Lion, just like when I talk about it in Assassins, doing what you want with who you want when you want is the true definition of wealth. It's not easy. It is simple, and we tend to overcomplicate. So my philosophy on everything is make it as simple as humanly possible. Complexity never works unless you're a coder or something like that. And we've got some SaaS stuff in our business, but that's usually offloaded contract or something like that. Being in the Lion, I call it an environment. What it means is I'm going to put myself in this environment where I've got my own accountability, now my team accountability, me as the coach and facilitator and leader of it, accountability, and now I got other people. So I got 4 levels of accountability around what I'm doing, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I've never seen people do their shoulds. They just don't. I mean, life's too busy, so it's about getting a level of leverage on yourself through that environment to do what you need to do, what must be done, and getting clarity on that, because I could do everything, right?
Oh yeah. And that's those are areas that I've seen that are so powerful with this that I love is these buckets of of assets, essentially, of what you can come in and do, to go. Not only is there core training and just mind expansion, right? To come into this and understand from you what's even possible. But then secondly, on that unique case by case, hey, I'm dealing with this thing in my business,
Mhm.
getting that handled. And then third, you've got the other people in the line that becomes a massive asset. And that's huge. And there's so many just great lessons to bring to this show for folks out of all three of those sections. Because, you mentioned that tough conversation. Number one, he had to realize first that was even a conversation that needed to be had,
Mhm.
right? So that helps by being a part of this. But then also, even if he had on his own, we hear this all the time, but it's so true. It is this lonely business. Who else would he have gone and talked to about, I've got to have this conversation? How should I bet? So many times we're isolated like that. And I think that's all three of those areas are what's so powerful with both your group and then what we're going to bring into the show.
Agreed. I always say most business owners are on an island, meaning they're kind of on the island. They have some inhabitants, but they don't have the confidants. They don't have the mentorship. They can't, and if you were stranded on an island and you went to your people and started showing all kinds of concern and all these different things, it could turn into chaos. Now, I know that's not the, topic of the day. It's called Be Vulnerable or something like that. I think in one of our schools, there's a book out there called Get Naked or something like that. And I said, I'm going to write a book on how to get other people naked because I can be vulnerable. It means I can be human, but you have to be careful especially in a business that's more family boutique-esque, in airing out everything and all this dialogue. It's not that you are deceptive. It's just that it's like a family. You have to treat it that way. So you still as a leader have to have some authority and some courage that maybe isn't the popular thing to post on LinkedIn right now. I don't know if anyone's even noticed this. Like the leadership across the universe isn't where I would say it needs to be. And not that I'm great, I'm just direct. So my intentions are good. And even we may have spoke about this when we did that show in Assassins. The mustard principle is really powerful there. Meaning, if you had mustard on your chin, I should tell you, because if I don't, it's because it will make me feel awkward and then you're going to get embarrassed. So just being honest there. But yeah, I mean, one of the things I think people start to realize is it's okay to tell the truth and it's okay to be direct and it's okay to make tough decisions. And your job isn't to make everyone happy. And unless you've been in a large leadership role where you have to make big decisions that half the people are going to be unhappy, you don't have a lot of muscle memory there. You're just going off your natural intuition on relationships. And sometimes people just want to stomp out the problem and they go the other direction. It's like, oh, I'm just going to get rid of them. So again, we talk about winning with the team you got. You have to make sure that you can win with the people you have first before you start doing that. That doesn't mean you let someone, underperform or not do their job or whatever. It just means make sure that you're looking at it and saying, okay, this is someone that may be better placed here. Let's have that conversation and see how it happens. Now you got to measure, hold them accountable, all those different leadership aspects. But that makes it a lot better in that environment. And plus, when everyone knows that you're being honest, a lot of the chirping goes away. I don't know about you. I like transparency and I like people telling me the truth. So that alone is a great way to approach things. And you have to have some courage. You could run an employee off. It's happened. I've done it once where someone didn't like working with me. It was weird, but it happens.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but it's such a balance too. That transparency, that quote unquote vulnerability, the truth, and I think that's where the lines get blurred there too. I equate it with almost on a marketing side and putting yourself out there and creating content, people don't want to hear the flailing while you're flailing, right? They want to hear, because it's not just this vulnerability and weakness or anything like that. It's, okay, what do I do with this? Hey, everybody, I'm bleeding right now, right? Like, cool, great information, but like, hey, I was bleeding yesterday, here's how I stopped it, here's how you could stop it too. That's what I equate it with. It's that. There's a time and place for it. It's not that you're covering up because it's all the intent, right? You're not covering up because, oh, I don't want anybody to know, but hey, this doesn't help anyone right now until I get this thing figured out. And I mean, if you want to go back to tribal days, whatever that wiring is, we want to feel confident in our leaders that to some level we are being taken care of. We're in a direction, and maybe next year the leader can share, man, last year we were this close to to going off the edge, but you guys pulled through. We did it. But another key in order to do that is exactly what we started this with, is that to have someone you can, as a leader, go to and say, wow, I need help here. Wow, I need this. And that's important to both have that and not do that to your employees necessarily.
Right. And it's interesting. So we do something called a hot seat. So we'll do one this coming Thursday where one person has something they want to bring to the group. They'll talk about what it is, where they believe they are stuck, or what, is keeping them from taking the next step, or just wanting advice, and what have they tried. And then everybody goes around and gives input, asks questions, and you get what's cool about it is you get a perspective from other people's viewpoint, because we see and hear the world the way we see and hear it. You can tell me all day long to see something. I see it the way that I see it. So when I hear it and get that feedback, it can give you a frame of reference on how someone else is going to look at it, and to avoid some mistakes, because we want people to, do this faster with less pain, less mistakes, and a lot more fun. So that helps, and it creates less friction. It doesn't mean you don't own your own decision. It's just now I've got all these people that are wanting me to win, giving me real feedback, and that helps me make better decisions. And again, you're not going to come into something like this and just sit there. It's something that you feed as well. We call it feed the beast. Feed the right one. Feed the one that will help you grow. Don't feed the one that will make you hide and shrink. So I love the hot seats, and we didn't always do it that way. So we're always trying to make things better and more enjoyable and more profitable. So this has been really powerful. We've got a great one coming up this Thursday, and it's, it's our favorite, by the way, Gary from the Assassins, our number one fan. Gary,
nice,
has got a big hot seat. And I mean, that dude, he's creative. He's a ton of fun. I mean, he's the grand poobah of all of our in-persons. Now, sometimes he does piss me off, Gary. But no, he's just, it's interesting. Like, you get all these people together, don't know each other, and the way they gel and everything. But he's got a big one. He's got big stuff he's doing, and that's what if you can tell, that's the shit I love. Like, I had people do something called the extreme version of themselves. Like, if you're gonna, especially in this environment, I don't know if you're gonna notice the markets and economy and stuff are a little choppy, but get in the extreme version of yourself. It doesn't mean to be loud and ignorant. It means to get as close to your potential as possible. That dude is like here all the time. He's always like, and if he gets down here, we get into an accountability routine, and now he's back here, and now he's going up here. He's selling some businesses, buying a business. He's always thinking of creative ways. That's the shit I really enjoy, or stuff. Sorry, I get fired up. That's the stuff that I live for. It's why I do this. And, he's going to walk away from that on Thursday, I'm confident, with way more clarity, a lot more questions, and a better action plan from having the other people in the Lion feed into it.
Oh, yeah. And what I've found in those environments too is, yeah, it's great when you're in the hot seat, you get this help and you get this other perspective. But I become better when I can give that feedback. All those other people in there, their minds are expanding and they're going. I mean, we all learn better when we teach, right? So it's that same principle. You get your brain fired up on someone else's problem, get you out of that. But there's a little bit of confidence in there too of, oh, I do kind of know my shit. Like, this is cool. This is
Oh my
cool. You
goodness.
know, like
Yeah.
I can help other people. So it's just a boost all the way around. I love it. I think we should wrap here. I think this gives people a good taste of these bigger topics that we're going to cover in this show. Because each one of those, there's so many lanes I wanted to go down
That's
already.
true.
Just having this, that we can expand on it, and we absolutely will. So I'm excited that we've jumped and started this new one.
Always take a leap of faith, my friend. All right.
That's right. All right. Peace. See y'all next time. You've just experienced the Lion's Edge. If this episode lit a fire, if you're ready to push past your current ceiling, there's more waiting for you. Want to see what it takes to become a member of the Lion? Visit jointhelion.com to discover how successful entrepreneurs become unstoppable forces. And make sure you never miss an episode by hitting subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. This isn't just content. This is your edge.
This show is powered by Media Leads. Tired of being overlooked in your industry? Learn how market gravity can transform you into the leader everyone's talking about by going to MediaLeadsCo.com.